If you need a surgery or if you're in an accident and you need diagnostics, the United States is the place to be. But if you want to prevent chronic disease, we're near the bottom of the list.
We're taught to trust the medical field and take the medicine they prescribe to us.
Really, I grew up thinking that drugs, things like that from the doctor, were the normal thing to do and that that's what would cure you.
And unfortunately, the pills aren't the answer, because if they were the answer, we've never had more pills in human history, and yet we've never had more chronic disease.
We need education more than medication, and our doctors are not getting this in medical school, and if they're not, then you're not getting it.
We are very focused on procedures and medications.
Medical school is pharmacology. In fact, we even learned about pharmacology during lunch. We get takeout what are called drug lunches by pharmaceutical reps.
Pharmaceutical industry is like any other industry in America. They're there to make money and produce profits.
They fund medical education. That's what you learn about.
These medications, you don't get them for free. You pay a price for using medications, and they work as a permission slip. They enable people to think because their numbers look better, they're okay, while the underlying pathology advances day after day. So in a sense, they give people a false sense of security that leads them to give them permission to keep eating the same diet that caused the problem to begin with, and the inevitable consequence is their disease gets worse and worse and worse.
But don't take it if you, and it might cause, rectal bleeding, and your eye might fall out, and hey, you might even want to kill yourself. It's kind of like, really? But it's gonna make me feel better, but I might want to kill myself. I think I'll feel the way I'm feeling. I'm okay.
Look, big pharma is one of the most profitable industries. The reason they're not researching new antibiotics, things that we need, is because they take it for 10 days. That's not useful. No, we want drugs you take every single day for the rest of your life, right? And what are those? Those are chronic disease drugs, right? High blood pressure medications, for example, right? You have to take them every day for the rest of your life because they don't treat the underlying cause of the disease.
The pill companies don't make money when you're healthy, they make money when you're sick. There's no profit in health. They need to keep you in that kind of zombie state in between where you're just shoveling more and more meds until you basically tap out. That's how the game works, and that's what's stacked against you.
I'm skeptical about the medical community because I know they're pill pushers. And it's just part of what they do. The pharmaceutical community has their hooks way too deeply in the government and the regulatory system.
Approximately 106,000 people die from drug side effects. And now that's just in hospitals, and that's just 1 year. And these are drugs that are properly prescribed and taken as directed. These are not medical errors. These are not suicide attempts. These are not mistakes. These are drugs that were prescribed exactly right and taken exactly as ordered. And we're killing 106,000 a year. Now that's a lot. That's 1 million people in 10 years.
When you're young, you think you're invincible. You don't think what you're going to eat is going to really hit you down the road. Really didn't start thinking about it much until my dad had a heart attack and then had quadruple bypass. And then, you start thinking, well, uh-oh, he's got a problem, so.
So today we're going to see Andre with high cholesterol. His cholesterol report shows that his total cholesterol is 189 on medication. With a whole food plant-based diet, we can take that cholesterol level below 150 without medication. And that's going to be one of our goals.
I'm controlling my cholesterol now and my triglycerides with medication, but a lot of the research I've done on the medications I'm on is not very positive, and they have side effects, and I've suffered some of the side effects. If I'm going to be on this for a long time, is there a better way? If I can do it through a dietary means, which would allow me to get off of these drugs completely, that would be the optimal goal. Well, for me to change anything, I'm going to have that proof to where through this diet, it will put my triglycerides in a safe range, my cholesterol in a safe range, and hopefully the cholesterol ratios, good to bad, within an acceptable range. I'm open-minded to see what happens, give it a shot, see if it works. I mean, what do you have to lose?
Pythagoras and Socrates was talking about this in Hippocrates 2,500 years ago.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture, whose mandate is to promote agricultural products. I mean, that's what they do. At the same time, we put them in charge of protecting public safety by meat inspections and, nutrition guidelines.
How the government's telling us what to eat is through what they subsidize. And so that's what people eat, because people eat what's inexpensive.
What foods are subsidized? Well, we're going broke, so shouldn't we be subsidizing healthy food? So are we making apples cheaper? Are we out making kale cheaper? No, the subsidies go to the sugar industry and goes to feed crops, primarily to feed livestock. So you can actually get kind of below cost of production thanks to our tax dollars. We are giving billions of dollars to the livestock industry so you can make dollar menu burgers.
You don't have to be sick. You don't have to wait in line for a terminal illness. There's something you can do about it, and the time to start is now.
There's no way. I'm not gonna do surgery, chemo, or radiation. He said to me, "What do you mean, no? You don't have a choice." He said, "You'll be dead in 6 months." I said, well, I'll tell you what. If I'm not dead in 6 months, I'll come back to see you.
Conventional medicine uses the term of 5 years survival of a cancer without a recurrence of the same cancer. You might have another one, but without a recurrence of the same cancer is considered a cure. For me, it really isn't. For me, a cure is when the patient lives the rest of their life, as long as they don't mess up and start doing the bad lifestyle choices that they had.
We did a nationwide survey of a total of 6,500 families. And what came out of that was supporting what we had done initially. And that was the moment in that process we turn away from vegetables and fruits and grains, which we learned had to be the whole form, the intact kind of form, and we put in all the animal foods and all the processed foods. We're making a big mistake. Animal protein can turn on cancer. And the protein that we were using primarily was the main protein of cow's milk.
When you are eating super inflammatory foods, you're eating dairy products, you're eating meat, you're eating eggs, you're eating all these inflammatory foods, processed foods, all these oils you shouldn't be eating, and then you add to that pesticides and all these chemicals that we know can potentially cause cancer, now you're in the perfect storm